Him Again, Part 2 of 10. Bookshelves made it easy to stay unnoticed, stealth. To Michael, it wasn't hiding, but rather letting Sarah avoid any distractions on the job. He wouldn't dare come between her and the books she placed back on the shelves of the second floor, though he made a game of touching them shortly after she had. There was one close call last month, but a pull on his hood and a pivot behind the biographies was all it took. Certain shifts held a challenge to locate her, which gave him a stir of pleasure, like an addict finally receiving his dose. Today he couldn't imagine what duty would keep a librarian assistant from the floor for so long. Was there an office or special room where she organized stacks? She would be isolated and lonely, left to reflect on her senseless rejection of him. How difficult would it be to find this chamber? He'd need either a keycard or an ajar door. Then she'd listen. She'd have to. He'd stay as calm as when she left her coffee behind for him to happily finish, his lips sipping from the edge where her lipstick had stained. By the time the afternoon light faded from the windows, he surmised she wasn't there. He hoped she wasn't ill. It wasn't like her to take a Thursday off. Concerned, he approached the old woman at the information desk. "Excuse me, I'm looking for someone who suggested a book to me last week. Her name was... I don't remember. Young, very pretty." "Sarah?" The woman raised her glasses to her forehead and smiled. "I'm afraid she's no longer on our team here." He stared at her face, evaluating his chances for more information. "Oh, she was very friendly. I don't suppose you can tell me..." He shook his head to dismiss the suggestion before the woman could. "What contemporary poetry books would you recommend, Mrs.?" He could call her Helen, and after admitting her ignorance to the genre, she led him to a few titles after a bit of research. She escorted him downstairs to the self-checkout counter before pausing and offering one last bit of advice. "You should visit our newly remodeled Lozano branch. You might even run into a familiar face there." "Oh, it's reopened? I can't thank you enough," he said. The woman had saved him days of searching. "That might be a little closer to my apartment anyway." "Such a charming smile on you," the woman said. "Are you always this happy?" Minutes later, though nearing closing time, he circled through the freshly painted parking garage of a different library. He let his car coast over to the book deposit where he returned both choices the woman had suggested. Daylight would be scarce on the way home, but a pale white glow from the garage lights allowed him to cruise each of the 3 floors until he found his target on the middle level, a red hatchback with a scuffed rear bumper. This would do. He parked behind a pole, hungry for what was sure to be a perfect view.